welcome back to another episode of the Prophetic Podcast. You recognize this guy. He's been here before. Kendrick LeBlanc. But he's your solo dolo this time. Let him off the leash.
What up, people?
Hey.
Shout out to my lovely wife who couldn't be with me today, but it's all good. I'm gonna hold it down for the home team.
He came over here to tell on himself on our podcast. He got his own show called Telling on Myself.
Telling on myself.
He gonna tell on himself today here too, though.
We gonna do what it do.
Yeah, how you been?
Oh man, I've been all good. I'm blessed by the best, man.
Yeah, man. Oh man, doing great, man. You know, daddy duties, podcast duties. You know.
Well, yeah. I can't say I know exactly how they go. I'm a dog dad.
Okay.
He act like a.
What's his name again?
Judah.
I remember we were on the phone the other day. He said, "Judah, be good. I'm about to leave."
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
He need those reminders, bro. Like,
man, Pickles is our dog name.
Oh yeah.
And she need reminders too, man. She got separation anxiety like crazy, bro.
Oh man.
So what's been up with you, man?
Oh man, just living life, man.
Yeah.
You know, just working.
Leather shirt, you know.
It's leather. It keeps me cool in this Dallas heat. It has that reverse effect, you know.
I need to get one.
Yeah, man. You know,
that shit took me back to the '90s when I used to have the leather shorts on.
Man, shout out to my wife again, man. She challenges me to do things that I probably wouldn't.
She challenged you to wear the leather shirt, the pleather shirt.
She got it for me. It showed up. Yeah,
you know they do that though. When they buy you some shit, even if you don't like it, you still gotta give it at least one walkthrough.
See, I rarely shop. I don't really just shop like that. That ain't just like my thing per se.
I buy the same shirt 20 times.
I probably do too.
Yeah, I'm on some Steve Jobs shit. I got black shirt. I got 20 black shirts. You can see me in the same shirt literally every day. I got about 45 of these pants. Like I'm very simple with mine. I don't shop a lot either.
He said.
I don't see the point. But anyways, man. So I'm glad you're here. We decided to help each other do some collaborating, which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah.
We need more of that. So shout out to you for coming through. We're gonna make it do what it do. The conversation that we were having the other day that I wanted to kind of get right back into, we started talking about intentional dating. We started talking about the whole phase in college.
Yeah.
I had one too. See, people don't know that. They think I'm just prim and proper and clean. I mean, I am, but I was one too, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Don't let
Drew's out there slaying like that.
I didn't say I was slaying like. I mean, I was just. I was just. I was having fun, man. I was young, but what made me want to talk to you about it, because you're married. I'm not married yet, but one of my guys who's not even in a relationship yet called me the other day and he said, "I'm struggling with intentional dating." And I said, well, how are you struggling? He said, well, I'm dating like 5 different women. I said, well, I don't know if that's intentional dating, my dude. I think he said, well, no, I'm not, I'm not fucking them. I'm like, well, I know that's great, but you got to kind of like narrow that down to one and then intentionally date the one. Yeah. He's like, well, I'm just trying to figure, I got a couple candidates. I was like, I don't think this, I think we're working with different definitions like she told me earlier. But how do you feel about intentional dating? Like how was that transition for you? Because you're married, so how was that transition?
The transition for me, it was very intentional. So, yeah, I mean, I had my little phase and stuff like that in college. Like my freshman year, wild. Like, I mean, bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was intense. It was
like no time like the present.
I mean, man, you know, I'm coming from this little small town, Orange, Texas.
Yeah.
We got, let me think, at the time, maybe a population 17,000.
Okay.
I get to UNT, population at the time was like 33, 34,000.
And now it's like up somewhere like 50 now.
Bruh. So we done doubled my whole city's population.
In nothing but people your age demographic.
Man, that was like, golly. I'm seeing people I've never seen before. I'm seeing different ethnicities. My first time ever really seeing like an Ethiopian woman, and I'm just like mind blown. I come from black, white, and Mexican. That is
Texas in a nutshell.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And so that was a culture shock. So yeah, I was going crazy. Yeah, my freshman year was crazy. Sophomore year it was pretty crazy as well. But when it came down to like me meeting my wife and stuff like that, yeah, man, I had to get really intentional with the dating aspect. And I was at a time in my life where I was ready to get serious as well.
It's not easy though.
My boy juggling the 5 right now. He not ready.
You don't think you're ready?
Nah, heck nah.
But he said he's not, he's not slaying. He's just
I understand.
They're going on dates.
I get it. Yeah.
But he's not ready.
Nah, man, because it's kind of hard to really be intentional like with divided attention. You know, when a person says like I want your undivided attention. Yeah. Meaning I need all of your focus because I don't want you to miss anything. Or I don't necessarily want to miss anything. It's just kind of hard to do that with like multiple women. Trust me, if it could be done, I made a good solid attempt.
If it could be done, it's called polyamory, but we're not into all that. So no, I agree with you though. It is very difficult. I had the same kind of come to Jesus moment, so to speak, where when I started dating who I'm with now. And don't get me wrong, old habits die hard. They do. Yeah. But it was like one of those things where you have to start thinking about every single thing you do. And you're looking at every nuanced part of this person. You're not looking at just like the surface level shit. Because really, in college, that's all it was. Yeah, actually bad. How much further did they go than that? I mean, you had some conversations, but it was in lieu of.
Oh, she's actually smart too.
Yeah, like right. Yeah, like even he told me, it's like, man, it's like when I used to date to obviously get laid, and he was like, we just kind of happened to end up in a relationship. And I was like, yeah, that's not how intentional dating works, though. You have to actually intend on making this said person that person. It can't be that person plus 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Like, so he's going on multiple dates a week. I'm like, bro, that's too much. I can't juggle that much.
I mean, yeah, I feel you. I can't juggle. Well, at the time, if I'm juggling, like I'm not trying to settle down. That's just me, though. Personal opinion.
But no, you shouldn't be.
Yeah,
because that's not the point.
So with the whole intentional dating, like 5 different people, yeah, man. That's why I say my guy not ready, and that's cool. That's cool if you're not ready.
But I don't think we talk about it as men enough, that transitional period, because we all go through it. I was just talking to one of my older cousins out of Houston about this a couple of days ago too. I said, do you remember when you first got in a relationship with your ex? Because they were together for like 10 years. He's like, bro, it was tough. And the decision making had to change for that to last that long. But yeah, honestly, a lot of guys go through that same phase, but men don't talk about that.
Bro, listen, getting married, one of the easiest things I ever done in my life.
Easiest,
bro. And every man up until I was probably about 23 or 24 when I first got like my first solid mentor. My first 24 years of life. Most men, if I had to do a survey asking uncles or whoever, how difficult is marriage? Like they'll all make it seem like it's like, oh man, it's the most damn near dreadful thing ever. You know, it's man, it's difficult. Oh man, it's so hard not to cheat. Like so on and so forth. It's not though. It's not at all. It's like not. Don't get me wrong. Especially when you're intentional and you're compatible.
Don't get me wrong. Temptation is always going to be there.
Yeah, temptation is always lurking.
My mom used to tell me, there's 2 things you can get in this life, son. It's pussy and drugs. And alcohol. It's always going to be there. Like she told me that from a very young age. She's like, so once you figure that out, the rest is easy because that's going to be there. Yeah. No matter what you do in this world, if it all falls apart, those 3 things will still be there.
You ain't got to work too hard to get any of those.
So she was like, so find somebody that you can actually, not necessarily be equally yoked with, but we hear that a lot in the black household. But find someone that's your equal, that's your partner, that you can ride through this life with, and make sure that you're intentional about when you do it. So that's kind of what I lean on. But so the temptation is always going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's never going to go away.
Yeah, and like one of the things, and some people, like I have family members that's just like some of my male family members for sure. Whoremongers, absolutely to the absolute fullest, and they be like, man, like a fiend, like man, I just gotta get it, like, and it just gotta be new every time. I just gotta keep getting it from all over the place, like, like they feel like that. They feel like those desires are that intense, and for them it may be. However, speaking for myself, I can only speak for me. Although I can say that. At one point, I had desires, like my desires were similarly as intense, so I thought. But what I've learned was through the art of true compatibility that when you're really compatible with somebody, like you say, the temptation, of course, like that'll always be there or whatever. But like that driving desire to just have to have somebody else, for me, I can only speak for me. it doesn't rage the same whenever you're intentional and you got like your person. You know what I'm saying? But they got to be intentional too, though.
Yeah. No, it's a two-way street.
It's definitely a two-way street.
I told my other boy this the other day. Not gonna say no names. But we were on the phone talking. He's like, man, and he gonna know exactly what it is when I say this. He was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I went out to the club last week. Mistake number one.
Yeah.
He said, man, I got like 5 numbers, bro. They were all duds. I was like, well, bro, you can't get numbers up. That's not it don't work like that no more. You better get OkCupid and swipe right. Like people don't just go to clubs and find their mate. This ain't like the 80s, bro.
Yeah.
It's called technology. Everything is online. People are so quick to just their attention needs to be held. He said, man, I felt like I was competing with all these other dudes just to hold her attention. I was like, because that's the world we live in. So you can't just go to the club or the bar and meet your mate. He said, well, then I fell off in the strip club. I was like, mistake number 2.
Come on.
He said, I called her the next day. She didn't answer. I was like, that's because that wasn't involved. I was like, that's not where it's at. When you're intentionally dating or trying to find somebody, you have to go a different route, bro.
For sure.
It can't be those old conventional ways you used to do. It's not gonna work.
Not at all, bro. Like I have homeboys to this day that what trips me out, and I mean it sincerely baffles me that they truly be like confused. They be like telling me similar stories. Like, man, I was at such and such. Like I was at this particular bar, club, lounge, whatever. However they want to try to dress it up. We were at a lounge, bro, and like I seen this chick, and you know what I'm saying, whatever, like whatever transpired, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. You know, after a day, 2 week, whatever, it didn't work out for some reason, and it trips me out how they be like, damn, I'm getting tired of running across the same type of people. However, like, bro, it never registered that you're usually gonna run across certain types of people in certain types of places.
It's not even the same people. It's the same environment.
It's the same environment.
That's what you
bro.
expect.
Like,
and a lot of these people just they move from one environment to the next.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you start getting apps and dating, if you go on OkCupid, you're gonna see the same people on Plenty of Fish and whatever other Tinder or whatever. They just move. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, so it doesn't work that way. I got lucky. Me and my girl met on OkCupid. We both swiped right, had a conversation, went to a brewery, had a beer, went hiking, never did anything physical for like the first year. That's unheard of. And then we just kept working. Then we end up in a relationship. But that's kind of just rare. Most people don't get that lucky. I got
one
lucky.
in a million.
Yeah, I got lucky. Most people don't get that lucky. Most people will be on there just swiping.
Yeah.
And they'll go on dates and then they'll do what they do, but it doesn't work out.
But again, like the intentionality, like I'm hell bent on. Most people, the reason why things don't work out for most people is because they don't be serious, bro. Like they're not really trying to put in any meaningful effort into like getting any sincere change in their lives. More often than not.
So what are they in it for?
They be bullshit for the most part. Like I don't know what they in it for. Like I be like, bro, just be honest. Like just. I know maybe like the idea of a relationship does sound appealing, and maybe even it sounds like it's something that you should do or whatever. I'm not here to say it don't, but just be honest, bro. Like you know, if you keep going to the same types of places, it's obvious that you're looking for a certain type of thing.
Trying to fill a void too.
Or trying to fill a void. But you're looking for a certain type of thing.
Yeah.
Even if you say, oh, well, this is what I want, this is what you're actually doing. This is what you're actually looking for. So you're going to get what you're looking for.
You know what I respect? I respect the people that tell me, I don't think a monogamous relationship is for me. I think I want to date multiple people. I had a neighbor that was polyamorous. Yeah. Loves it. Not my thing. I don't get it. Just a lot going on I can't keep up with. But I had a family member I talked to recently. He's getting out of a relationship. And he was like, man, I don't know that I'll ever get another serious relationship. I was like, why? He's like, I just don't get the point of monogamy anymore. It ain't. And if it doesn't make sense for you, then say that. But you got to be honest and upfront and say monogamy is not what I want. I want to be with multiple different people. And you're going to find the people that want to do the same thing. A lot of people try to go down this line and try to make something happen that doesn't feel natural to them too. So I told him that if it doesn't feel natural, bro, then just be with multiple people. It's okay. People have 2 girlfriends, 3 girlfriends all day long, but as long as you're being transparent with the people that you're with, you should be fine.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm for people doing whatever they want to do.
Agreed.
Like, I don't necessarily condone all behaviors, but I understand and I accept. Hey, people gonna be people and do what they want to do. More power to you. Okay, that's cool. However, again, like in my opinion, I think that normally when people are that explorative, if that's even a word,
Or exploratory, yeah.
yeah, like normally, more often than not, when they are, what is it? Exploratory? What?
I would think it'd be is it exploratory.
Explorative.
Exploratory, is that a word? Exploratory. Are we applying the word right? We need a dictionary in this one.
Something like that. So
Ask ChatGPT.
so more often than not, when people are that exploratory, it generally is some sort of void that they truly are trying to fill. However, normally the route that they take, such as we'll just say like polyamory or whatever, to some people they may say it may work for them, and cool. If it do, cool. You know, then this just don't apply to you. But for the majority, those options of trying to fill that void is bro, it's like cotton candy, bro. Like, I mean, it's like for a moment you have it, and then the moment you start trying to eat it, it disintegrates basically. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so fleeting, and that's more often than not like what they discover. But then the problem with that is no matter how you want to slice it or dice it, emotions and stuff still get involved one way or another. So like you just compounding hurt and void, and you know what I'm saying. But if it worked for you, it worked for you. You know?
For me, I had to understand where it came from, and I had to know that my father cheated and my stepfather cheated, right? So if that's your foundation,
what came from?
Me being a hoe in college. Me running.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but you're also young. I mean, so there's that too. You're young, so I don't expect for a 20-year-old to know what they want to do in a relationship. So that
Yeah, for sure.
I got to give some grace to the college students. But to a certain degree, I figured that it had to come from that because I didn't really see the stability in my household as a man growing up. I was learning how to be a man kind of on the fly, and so in that regard, yeah, I was kind of like, well, if that's what you don't know, that's what it is, but that's what you saw, and you don't really realize you're emulating what you saw. Tenfold. So I was just out here running around. So at some point I had to stop and say, well, if I had a kid or if I had a family, if I was in that position as my dad, what would I do?
Yeah.
Would I want that? No. Would I want my kid to see that? No. So it's just decision making too, though. It just takes time.
Yeah.
I don't think most people know their backstory or they don't understand where these behaviors come from. They do it and they keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, but they're not understanding the basis or foundation of where it came from too.
You hardly question it.
Yeah, I did. I had to question my reality.
Yeah, you definitely do, and you should. You know, most of my peers, yeah, it seemed like they hardly would question any of that. They just like, shit, this just how it is, and this just how it's gonna be. You know, whatever. Man, you tripping, man. It is what it is.
That damn, it is what it is.
You know,
yeah, man.
I come from a conflicting environment, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Because my situation is like, so being adopted. I was adopted in a 2-parent household, so I had the experience of seeing a 2-parent like household dynamic, very dysfunctional one. So I'd be remiss not to include the dysfunctionality within that 2-parent household because that played like a major part. But then all the rest of my family, like everybody get married, get divorced, or got multiple kids, multiple women, and so on and so forth. So, you know, I would see that all the time. And the crazy part is like they seemed happier as just like happier people. But like the example that I had at home, it's like, yeah, they together, but they like so unhappy. So it's like, damn, which one do I want to do? Then by nature, like my dad, my biological dad, very good guy. But yeah, he had his whoremonger ways as well. Like I have like 14 half siblings.
14?
So like,
damn, I got 2.
So you know
he was out here.
He's definitely
Wait, 14 half siblings by how many different people though?
Man, let me think.
If you say 14, he was wild.
Man, at least I have one full sibling where same mom, same dad, biologically.
That's crazy.
Other than that, let me see. See, if it's 14 of us, like at least 10 or 11 different women.
Shit.
12.
Did you ever have the scenario where you thought the side chick was your auntie? I had that happen. That happened to me. I used to go to this chick's house. Yeah, check this out.
Oh, you know.
So my dad used to drop me off at this chick's house, right? And so he's like, yeah, that's your auntie, that's your cousin. So I'm thinking, oh, cool, these are my cousins. But I never saw them any other family function. Oh, yeah, so it was kind of confused. I was like, well, where my cousin, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm like, who the hell is that? That's how I figured. I was
Man.
like, oh, that's not my cut, and that's not my. Oh wow.
We was some grown kids,
man.
bro.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
So even if like the grown ups who like tell us some stuff like that, like we was some grown kids. Like it was so many. I have so many cousins, first cousins, second cousins, and all of that. And growing up in a small town, we was always all together and stuff like that. Like we were pretty mature pretty fast. So they'll tell us whatever, and just as kids, we'd be like, oh yeah. We just play our part. Yeah. That's cool. What's up, cuz?
Yeah, I'm playing a role.
But we know, like, Unc over there beating Miss, what's her name?
Yeah.
Back in the million.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you good. Yeah, no, I remember that. Like, I would get home, like, I was over with my cousin, blah, blah. I was like, who is that? I was like, no, I don't. And then they go to conversation, like, I didn't know. I'm like 5 years old. I'm thinking that's really my cousin. That's not my cousin.
That was, man. That's just the play.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's your recipe for success in your relationship, man? Tell these men out here what you can do right.
Say, man, just keep it a bug, bro. Like, just be honest. The only thing I could say is what I've learned worked for me, which was, I had to be honest with myself, and I'm a pretty introspective type of person, so I do a lot of like internal work, and so I'm always curious as to why I do what I do, but I also have a deep desire for like truth and like to be right in general. So I mention all of that because it's like, man, just being honest with yourself and like what you want.
Yeah.
And just being vocal about it. Like when I met my wife, I was just that, bro. Like no more, I wasn't even looking to really date like at the time. Mm-hmm. And so the way that we just kind of clicked because in my with my desire to just like be honest and stuff, I was like being brutally honest. Like I say stuff that I would think with me being dishonest, like it'll probably like run her away. But it only like, I was like, damn, this how truth work, huh? Like I've been lying my whole life, That's all I ever did. Like, and I ain't never had no remorse about it. Like I tell chicks,
now y'all all
anything. Like I say whatever.
They all listening now. Like
it's cool. It is what it is. Hey, shout out to the Telling on Myself. Yeah, bro. Like for the majority of my life, like I tell chicks anything. When I say anything, bro, I mean I will say anything to get a desired outcome.
I wasn't the lying type.
Oh shit, I would.
I wasn't lying.
No lying?
I wasn't lying. I just wasn't. I was withholding truths. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you was lying your ass out too. Yeah.
Like, are you dating other people? I mean, I'm out here. I'm keeping my options open.
Yeah.
I'm seeing other people.
I feel you.
Are you fucking someone else? I mean, I'm seeing other people. I'm keeping my options open. I had very standard answers for things. I wasn't lying to anybody though.
You wouldn't?
No, but I think I can see why they might think that they might have been the only one at some point.
You wasn't telling the whole truth. You was withholding information that you know. You know the question they asking. You just bullshitting.
But they're asking, is it me and only me, or is there somebody else?
Well, a lot of my lying came from I was just insecure, and I ain't even understand what insecurities was at the time. I'm from the country. We don't know nothing about no insecurities. Mm-hmm. We just whatever. Mm-hmm. So learning about myself a little bit more, understanding why I was so insecure and doing some of that background research on upbringing, childhood traumas, et cetera. Those things really just had me on, I guess, like I say, like a quest for truth. And so just being a more honest person and being vocal about what I wanted. So when I met my wife, just being vocal, being honest, and her reciprocating that, I mean, shit, it just kind of gel. It just kind of mesh.
That's kind of a constant conversation in our household. Because sometimes we fall in those slumps where, like, we'll say the thing, and we won't say everything we need to say. You know what I mean? Because at some point, you are still afraid to hurt your partner's feelings. You don't, you know what I mean? But we've had to get over that hump. It was like, no, we gotta talk. Yeah, man. We gotta talk through this. Like, if there's some shit going on, we really need to talk. Because if I don't know, that this makes you feel that way, then how am I going to do it right? Yeah. Or how do I know what I'm doing wrong?
And if you do know it and you keep on doing it, you just a bullshit ass
right? Yeah. No. Have at it. Say what you want. I put the little, this ain't for kids at the bottom of the thing, so you good. But right. No, you're right. No, you're right. It's a work in progress. It's always going to be a work in progress. Have you had any difficulties in marriage though, or has it been pretty smooth?
To be honest, bro, I'm telling you, easiest thing I ever done. It was pretty smooth because all the things that we do in marriage, we did when we was dating. And like when we first started, like we we wasn't doing everything perfect. We never done anything perfect.
Who can
at any point? Yeah. But like at first, we was like having sex and everything, and at some point, like pretty early on, like we stopped and we decided to commit to celibacy because I'm like, the last thing I want to do is get truly involved with somebody that I was blinded by sex. And like, I really don't even like this person. Like, damn, she get on my nerves. Like, you know, I don't like her breath stink or something. It just random.
I've never experienced having sex with people I didn't really care for. I'm playing with you, man. Go ahead.
I know you lying.
Lying again.
Nah, man. But like the last thing I wanted to do was discover that I really didn't like this person or just their habits or just whatever. So we took sex out of the equation and we were celibate for about a year or so, maybe about a year. And shortly after that, like we were married, and now it's like almost 5 years later. And I mean, it just seemed like time to just zoom by.
It's not long?
Yeah, I mean 4 years. Yeah, about over 4 years. Yeah,
that's quick. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, bro, just zoom by, bro. Like, and to me, honestly, it seems like it gets easier and easier by the day. Because again, like all the intentionality that we put into like the beginning, like I was serious about learning who this person is as a person, who my wife is like as a person.
Right.
Learning just whatever qualities, traits, whether attractive, unattractive, any of it. Like, I just want to know who you are, and vice versa. Like, she got to find out who I was, and I guess she was like, well, shit, I guess I could deal with it. And same for me. I'm like, shit, well, I guess I can deal with it. And yeah, bro, it just work, bro. It just work easy.
And I tell people don't ever believe this, but for like I told you, like for the first year or so that we knew each other, there was no physicality like that.
Yeah.
It was very weird. It actually was weird for me because, I mean, obviously what I come from is like, it could be like about a week. We good. We in there. Like, you know, or it could be same day. Like, you know what the life is like. It's just kind of a roll of the dice. But we went on like a hike. Like I said, we went on a hiking trip out of state. And I said, if this motherfucker gets in the car with me and we go out of state and we survive this shit and come back, might be the one. So we went hiking up in the hills, in the boonies in Oklahoma. And we got up in the hills and we seen these like 3 white dudes, like hillbillies and overalls and shit. I said, grab my bag, we finna get out this bitch. So we start traversing down, got back to the car. I said, you good? She said, we almost died. They could. I was like, yeah, but you're a trooper though. At that point, I was like, okay, she different. You know what I mean? Like, so we started doing these trips a lot. We started hiking a lot. And at that point, that's where we started to kind of bond. And I never really expected that to be the way because I had been doing the traditional day. Let's go see a movie. Let's go grab some food. But for whatever reason with her, I said, you want to go hiking? And she was like, yeah, I got to pack. You hike? I said, yeah, I hike all the time. I've been in Seattle and, you know, Portland, all kind of places. She's like, oh, shit, well, let's go hiking. I said, damn, I had been asking people to go hiking. Yeah. That's some white shit. I had asked people to go eat sushi. You eat that shit? That's white shit. Like, everything I wanted to do, you want to go grab some coffee? That's white shit. Like, I'm like, damn, I can't do nothing culture. Wanting to go to a brewery? That's white shit. So I finally found somebody that didn't say that. And I was like, okay, so she's up for everything I want to do. No holds barred. She's like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do it then. And from then on, bro, we've been rocking.
It's something about being able to bond organically with a person, doing something that you genuinely like to do, that you don't have to necessarily bend, adjust, or kind of act like or whatever. And yeah, I mean, that really be working, bro. Like, I mean, it's pretty much like the same in our relationship. It's pretty easy. It's like a, you know, if I want to do stuff, it's only maybe like a handful of things that I'll be like, hey, let's do this. But to her, it's like, nah. Nah.
What, who's more adventurous, you or her?
Me. For sure.
I think I'm the adventure hog. I think it's me too. Yeah. There'll be some things I might want to do, she might not want to do. Most things she'll do. Now, there's some shit she want to do, I'm not trying to do. Like, she want to go diving and shit, I'm not trying to dive in nobody else. No, we're good. I'm cool.
My wife ain't really like that adventurous.
She want to go skydiving too. I said, I'm not going below or above. We're going to be right here on this ground.
We can go to the little skydive thing over there.
Where they put you in a little air room.
Blow some air under you.
Great. Perfect.
That's kind of what it's like.
Jumping out of some shit, not happening. This motherfucker's supposed to take me from point A to point B, and that's it. I'm staying on board the whole time. Yeah, man. No, intentional dating, people, try it. It's not that bad, man. And I'm not going to say that relationships are easy though, because relationships do take work.
Yeah, they take work.
They take work. I'm not gonna say this,
but perfect. You take work.
Yeah, you got to work on yourself. I'm still working.
Yeah,
on myself.
if you a riding ass individual, come on, man. You just got to admit you just a riding ass individual. Come on, man. You need help, man. You know,
okay.
it's cool to go to counseling. It's cool to get therapy. Or it's cool.
Shout out my therapist, Crystal. She's awesome. If y'all need some help, and let me know. I can shoot you a reference. Yeah, man. Take care of yourself and try to do it. For my friends out there that are intentionally dating, you got to reduce the count to one. Man. You got to just focus on the one. If you're going to try to make it work, just focus and don't. This may sound crazy to anybody. Don't have sex with them. Seriously, like don't.
Man, I just gotta get it, man.
I get it. I get it. Trust me, I love
that
sex.
Sweet nectar be just calling me. I'm telling you that I hear it.
No, just don't fuck them. Just being for real. Just don't do that. Try taking that out of the equation. Just see how it happens. See how it works.
That's just if they want to be intentional, bro. But most people, like I said, they don't want intentionality, and that's cool. You know, just be honest and say that. Say you don't want that. But to those of you that do, hey.
You hear that magical advice?
Just try it out.
There it is.
I promise you can't go wrong with it.
Well, you know, two black men don't sit around and talk about relationships enough.
I feel
this is nice.
Yeah.
We need black guys. Talk to your brothers about the relationships, about intentionality, about sex, about your shortcomings. My guys call me all the time. We talk about stuff all the time. But I know that's not a common thing. Not men don't talk like this, bro.
I really only got like a 2 or 3 homeboys anyway, and like. We don't talk just all the time, but you know when we do, we do. But I guess I'm blessed to say that the few people that I do have in my life that I say, yeah, these are my homeboys, my friends. They are pretty open and pretty mature in that aspect.
Well, you got to have people that are gonna hold your feet to the fire.
For sure.
You got to have the guys in your life that are gonna tell you, I mean, I get it, bro, but nah, that's not it. That's not the move. You got to stay on this path. Because sometimes it's easy to deviate, bro. We're human.
Absolutely.
Shit's going to, especially when we're in the social media world or with what you do, like we're out there. So people see you.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to come.
For sure.
From any angle. But you have to have a team around you that can still, whenever you even think about shortcomings, get your ass, reel your ass right back in. That's what I got. I got a team. I don't have too many problems at all, but I do have a team of guys that I talk to, including you. We had a 2-hour conversation the other day, checking each other on different shit.
Sure.
And so, yeah, you got to have that. I think that's important.
But you know, hey, again, man, most guys don't be wanting to be accountable, though.
No, they want to be slick.
But to those of you that do want accountability, hey, I'm telling you, try it. You might find that it really is beneficial and that in the end you're actually grateful for it.
Mm-hmm. Love wins.
Yeah, bro.
Hey man, plug your socials.
For sure. Instagram at K.409. That's K.409. Be sure to follow the Telling on Myself podcast at Telling on Myself.
Go ahead, check it. To his audience, hey, nice to meet y'all. I'm going to go on his show too, so y'all going to see a bunch of us back and forth. So we'll be sharing platforms quite a bit. Good to see y'all. Nice to meet y'all. I'm Drew, if you didn't know. I am the host of this Prophetic podcast, and he does the Tell On Myself podcast. So you guys will see us sharing each other's shit quite often. So nice to meet you. And to our audience, that's Kendrick, if you don't know. He's awesome. His wife is awesome. Becky's still behind the camera doing what she does.
Shout out to Becky behind the camera.
Let me go ahead. One day we're going to get her to sit over there, bro. We're going to have to get her one day.
Yeah, she be dropping gems. She just do it off camera.
Wait till we get a little money behind this thing. I'm just going to put a camera right on her the whole time. She ain't going to say it, just right there the whole time. Before we get out of here, thank you to Celestial Beer Works. Again, we have our live show coming up November 10th. The ticket link will go up soon. For all you guys who want to come out and support and see what we do in person, there'll be DJs, there'll be beer, there'll be food, there'll be vendors. We'll have a specialty merch capsule. It'll be a fun time. Haley's Eats will be there. I believe Soulful Spaces, Candles will be coming in from Pittsburgh. I think we have our plant lady, Bree Mon Clark, will be supplying us some cool plants and stuff. So it's gonna be fun. You will be there.
Oh man,
you will have to be there.
Be in the building for sure.
Might have to drag you on stage. so you can tell on yourself.
I ain't got no problem with that.
DJ Binosaur, he'll be there, cool dude. So it's gonna be a fun time. When you go by Celestial, let them know that we sent you. They'll give you 15% off, a nice little neighborly discount. And as always, we appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you learn, and we hope that you grow and evolve. And we hope that you always come back and kick it with us all over again. Anything you want to say lastly before we go?
Hey man, nothing.
All right, bye.
Have a good day. Bye. See ya.
That's out. We prophetic.